Dirty Sports, episode 793. We are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Arizona, Joey No Chill Prano.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning. What part of Arizona are we exactly?
North Phoenix?
The land of the rising sun.
Is that what they call it?
Did I just make that up?
I don't know. Maybe.
Is that a thing?
I know House of the Rising Sun. Probably right. That sounds right.
But it's with me, you never know.
You do never know. How, did you mess it up just slightly?
I butchered it. I just put the land of the rising sun into Google, and the first thing that comes up is, why is Japan called the land of the rising sun?
There you go. I knew Japan. I mean, look at their flag, you know?
Yeah. So let's just say I'm not saying anything about Arizona right now.
It's okay. That's okay, Andy. You tried.
I appreciate it.
You're trying to connect with those here in Arizona, and as Arizonans, they appreciate you.
I mean, it's the Phoenix Suns. We know that.
It is the Phoenix Suns. That you do know. You are correct there.
There's a lot of sun in Arizona. I know
there
that.
is a lot of sun. Not currently, but there is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I was somewhat close.
Sure.
But completely off.
Right.
Like 100% off.
Yeah.
And that is factually correct that I was 100% off. Hey, it's the end of the year. I'm getting all the things wrong now. Next year, I'm going to be 100% correct on everything. It's my New Year's resolution.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. It could be real tough. Especially
I better make up my difference in our pick'em this week.
Yeah.
Since you're going 100% next week.
On everything. Life decisions, sports, debates. The goal is to go 100% on everything.
I've had a couple of those years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
07?
07, 2016, 2018, I've had a couple 100% years.
It would be fun to keep a tracker. So like if you had a tracker, you like they can track your calories, and they have all those things for fitness, like a life tracker about how many times you were right or wrong about something.
There was a year, 2 years in a row where I was coaching baseball at a school in LA. And the first year I was coaching there, my assistant coach was the best. He was truly one of my favorite people ever. And he would basically keep a Prano tracker on my coaching decisions. Year one, we figured out I made a terrible starting pitching decision in game one, which, to be fair, how was I supposed to know? It's game one. They all told me this kid was the best pitcher. He wasn't. I figured that out in one game. And then I made a terrible, terrible pitching decision in our playoff game. So the first pitching decision of the season and the last pitching decision of the season. Terrible. So 2 incorrect moves. The next year, we both agree I went 100%, that I made 0 incorrect moves. That's why watching Baseball Managers is so frustrating.
I'm not surprised.
It's not that hard. I'm
not surprised that you would say that yourself was 100%. I'm not surprised at all.
And my very competent and great, honest assistant coach agrees with me. He's like, yeah, I think you did go 100% this year. He's like, it was actually kind of remarkable to watch. He's like, you were in the zone.
I don't think I've been 100% on anything in my life, or even close. Definitely not with coaching decisions. But hey, that's why you play the game.
Yeah. And I didn't even have an analytics team. I went on all gut and emotion and momentum.
Yeah. You know who else did that, Joe? And he is one of the greatest coaches of all time. John Madden.
What? The GOAT. Honestly, I've seen a lot of. We'll disregard like the terrible troll tweets people put out there just to get attention.
Bro.
I mean, what shit bags? Talk about shitbaggery. But the most of the response to John Madden's passing was very positive. And I saw one tweet that said John Madden is pretty much more responsible for the growth of the popularity of football than maybe any other single person in history. And I would say that's 100% correct.
I was going to say that. Who had more of a profound effect on the game of football?
One single person. I mean, who else is even in the list?
That's what I'm saying. Because obviously coaching. So let's just highlight some of the stuff from each facet. Coaching, never had a losing season. Never had a losing season in 10 years. Won a Super Bowl, was in the AFC Championship 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. So he was in the AFC Championship 5 straight years, won a Super Bowl in one of those years. He was in the AFL Championship before it was the Super Bowl. So he was in another additional AFC Championship in 70. I'm just saying, no one has a higher winning percentage than him who coached at least 10 seasons. 750 winning percentage.
Boom.
Then obviously he becomes a commentator. An amazing commentator. I always loved Madden. But I do recall there were some people back in the day who didn't like him.
No, I always loved him too. And I always loved Summerall with him.
I'd say the best duo ever.
They're up there.
And then his video game was created, I want to say, let's just take a guess. I'm going to say 90, 91. And we all know the effect that game has had. And all you young kids out there, you don't know, like, I know Madden from being the commentator because it was before my time when he was coaching, before your time. But the video game effect that's had to help the game of football. So again, you have 3 facets, like you're saying, someone who's had the most profound effect of a single person in the history of football. You have the coaching, the actual on the field, you have in the booth, and you have the video game. Who comes close to that? Name a single person. Let's try to add somebody. Who's on that list?
Honestly, I can't think of a single person. I mean, the league was already bumping, pre-Goodell, like commissioner wise, like who I honestly can't think of a single person. I mean, the popularity of the game, I mean, that was the era too, like the 90s to today is like the explosion. So, somebody like you could say, oh, Tom Brady or something like that. It's like, dude, exponentially, the growth of the game grew so much pre-Brady to now that you couldn't even say that. And
also, let's not forget, he goes right into the booth. So he coaches the Raiders when they're in Oakland from 69 to 78. He jumps right in the booth in 79 in CBS. And let's not forget, I think this is important to note as well. Fox got the NFL rights in 94, which, as we've discussed, I think in the past, was such a big coup for Fox to jet from NBC. Remember?
Yeah, because also Fox at the time was like a relatively new network.
Like 5 years new. And guess what? He goes to Fox. That's what I'm saying. Like John Madden put Fox football on the map. And his effect really can never be understated that he had on the game. I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
I would say he's the football equivalent of Michael Jordan in terms of crossing everything. Michael Jordan had the shoes and all the advertisements, Gatorade and Space Jam, and obviously his actual effect on the game. John Madden is that for football.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you say to somebody Madden right now or Jordan, Like the people themselves might not even be the first thing half the people think of.
Yeah. And also let's not forget, like you and I would know this, just like Jordan, all the commercials that Madden did.
Yeah.
Remember the Ace Hardware, the tough
Yeah.
acting, Tenactin.
I mean, also, has anybody, we've already talked about his effect on football. Has anybody done more for Athlete's Foot?
No.
I mean, that guy, we don't even hear about Athlete's Foot anymore. John Madden essentially ended Athlete's Foot because it was before a time where people were like, you're just in the pocket of big pharma. Everybody was just like, John Madden says I should use this on my athlete's foot. And we basically eradicated it.
Yeah. John Madden.
If only John Madden were in Dr. Fauci's position, the whole world would not be dealing with Omarosa anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some commercials with Shaq. Shaq's trying to get those remaining people who didn't listen to John Madden. He's there to clean up the mess. But you're right. That's great point.
That's why they had to go with Shaq, because they're like, we already got every football fan. We now need basketball exclusive fans.
Yeah.
Use it on your feet. Superman didn't have athlete's foot. John Madden didn't have athlete's foot. Shaquille O'Neal, the great one, he didn't have athlete's foot.
Yeah, you really can't understate. I really like that comparison. The Michael Jordan to Madden. Like, I don't know. So one of the most important figures, it's ironic though, because the teams he founded suck. Like, Paul Brown gets a lot of credit. He founded the Bengals. He founded the Browns. He was the first to do game film, which they say obviously like that revolutionized the game. No one had done game film, which is kind of funny if you think about it, but that doesn't compare. That's like one facet of coaching to revolutionize the game, or the coaching schemes that a Bill Walsh would do. No one compares from every angle to what John Madden did. And the all Madden team and the Madden bus that he didn't fly.
Turducken
on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah.
Did you watch the Madden special?
I have not watched it yet.
I know. I haven't watched it yet either. Crazy that it comes out and then 4 days later or whatever he died. I mean, the Madden curse is undefeated. Madden curse got mad.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to do a thing about Madden. You're dead.
Life's crazy like that. I feel like those things happen, man.
Yeah.
All the time.
It was just talking about that with Randy Ruther about how you killed Kobe Bryant.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. The Ruther curse.
He didn't say, can Randy Ruther get a who day on stage last night, did he?
No, he did not.
That would have been all time.
Yeah.
So RIP to John Madden, legend. And if you never heard him, probably a lot of you, as far as an announcer, I'm sure you've seen some stuff, but you should go back and listen. I was laughing going back, watching some things, like the one where he goes after Troy Aikman for not having facial hair.
Yeah.
And he's doing what do you call that? Where they draw on the
telestrator.
The screen, which was a new thing too.
Yeah. And Madden was awesome with that. And honestly, I don't know. I'm assuming it's from the Madden special, because, clips are popping up everywhere now. And I'm assuming a lot of them pulled directly from that special, which I have to watch. But they were doing one where Pat Summerall was, they had a thing where Pat Summerall would try to pause for as long as he could between Murder and She Wrote.
Shut up.
And he'd be like, Murder, She Wrote. And then he did another one for like whatever the movie was. And John Madden said he was laughing so hard he had to like leave the room.
That's amazing. Well, there was a story. Here, actually, I just pulled this up. You want me to do it? You want to play the clip? It sounds like this is from the thing. Okay. I'll play the Murder, She Wrote.
Coming up following football, followed by Murder, She Wrote.
We would have bets on how long it's going to be between Murder and She. And it got longer and longer.
Then it's Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury.
So
So
we're doing
fun.
a game, and there's a movie following the football.
Followed by part one of a CBS Sunday night movie, Gone with the Wind, starring Clark Gable and Vivian Lee. All coming.
I laughed so hard, I had to take my headset off and go out in the hallway.
That's great, man.
You could hear Summerall laughing too.
You could hear,
Gone.
yeah.
With the Wind.
I mean, you know what's great, dude? Sports, and obviously we're coming back to this with Eli and Peyton and their not podcast, but their weekly cast.
The Manning cast. Their rabble, as we'll call it.
Yeah, I just feel like the game. Listen to how fun they're having together, and it's lighthearted. It's like the game. These guys have no personalities for the most part. I hate to say it, like they might be good or they might be interesting, but there's no fun for the most part. Like those guys are having fun.
Yeah,
which I feel hopefully because of Eli and Peyton, we'll get back to more of that because
hopefully the best case scenario is somehow they just clone Peyton and Eli and those guys do all the games.
Yeah. Here's the clip of him roasting Troy Aikman. Now it's better with the visual, but it's still funny, the audio.
Hey, you noticed, Pat, Troy Aikman's trying to grow a beard, and he just can't do it. I mean, the blonde-haired guys, a lot of them have trouble, but I can't even. I'm looking as close as I can, and I can't see any beard. But that's a 4-day beard, isn't it?
It's a passive attempt.
No, it's very, very passive.
Here's Terry Allen. Out to about the 20. There it
Dude,
is.
I love
See,
Summerall
here it
too.
is, but see, I mean, he got a little in here and a little up there. Here, but he doesn't have anything here at all. Watch, when you take it off, he doesn't have anything going up in there.
Well, you got to give him time. He just had his 29th birthday.
I know, but I don't think he's doing a very good. I'd quit. I mean,
You got to give them time.
You would never hear that nowadays. No. They'd be like, he's canceled. He was discussing their facial hair. That was mean. Bully.
Body shaming.
Oh, yeah. You're right. That'd be the term. Back when it was fun. So rest in peace, John Madden. Legend. And I am actually open to that discussion. I think it would be a good discussion. If anybody wants to call the hotline, 310-359-8365, or start a Reddit post. Who is someone that you can think of? Player, coach, someone else, commissioner, who's had a bigger overall influence on the sport of football, and particularly the NFL, than John Madden? Well, we'll move from someone who's influential in one sport, Joe. I'm going to do a nice little seg here into another sport. He's been going off, but his team sucks. LeBron. So LeBron just turned 37.
Yep.
6 straight 30-plus point games.
Yep.
And I want to also add extremely efficient, 50% or greater in all 6. And it's not just points.
The GOAT doing GOAT things.
His longest such point streak, I should say, since 2013 when he played for the Heat. But the problem is his team is 1-5.
Right. Which,
6 games.
You could argue that that those are related, but I would say that they're related as opposed to saying they're related that LeBron's teams don't play well or the recipe for success isn't LeBron James scoring a ton of points. I would say if you look at his career, obviously right now he's not at his physical peak. So I would argue he could do this anytime he wants. And the correlation is that he has to do this because of just how bad they are. Like he's just being like, I guess this is the only shot we have. Me scoring a bunch of points, like me dominating games.
Who is arguing that this scoring output and this overall efficiency, because it's not just scoring, he's shooting at a high percentage. He is also getting tons of assists, rebounds. Who's arguing this is hurting the team? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, first of all, I'm sure there are people out there that LeBron haters that are saying, okay, and what's their record?
Sure.
empty stats, whatever. And I would just say, listen, LeBron James, in my opinion, undoubtedly the GOAT, could have done this at any point. And the only reason he's doing it now is because he thinks he gives them the best chance for winning, considering the talent deficiency that they have. And I think he's right.
Yeah. Well, he's on pace, in case anybody is following this. Where he's at versus where Kareem was at. He's ahead of Kareem as far as the all-time points scored. And I think it's obvious that he wants that.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
To officially cement his legacy.
I think no doubt about it. I think that's been part of the plan for a while. I don't think he's going anywhere, at least until that happens. And he should be what? Where is he right now? Is he 3?
Yeah, he's 3, but
he passes Malone at some point, like relatively soon, right? Toward the end of this year, maybe.
Yes, he'll pass Malone. Let me pull it up. He should pass Malone sometime this year. LeBron is currently. Is this up to date? Because this would put him.
By the way, I went back for some reason. It came up in my YouTube history, and I watched that Dirty Sports quickie that we did when he passed Jordan, and still one of the great pieces of Dirty Sports content ever. Just dick slapping LeBron trolls.
So he's about 900 in back of Karl Malone. So he's more than I thought. But he's already 2,500 ahead of Kobe, who's number 4.
Right.
He's almost 4,000 ahead of Michael Jordan now at this point.
Michael Jordan is in the rear view.
Yeah. So he should pass Karl Malone either this year or next year. And then that's the thing. Kareem is still, they're about 2,300 points away.
Yeah. He'll get there. No doubt about it,
that.
In my opinion. Obviously, I hope this table's real wood. Knock on wood that nothing devastating happens. But
I mean, he's obviously breaking down. Father Time's undefeated. It's starting to catch up with him. The last few years, he's missed a lot of games. But even if he gets almost a full year, I mean, hell, just do the math. Let's say he plays 70 games and averages 20 points a game.
Yeah.
1,400 points right there.
Yep.
So he's never averaged. Here's a fun fact. He's never averaged less than 25 points a game in his entire career.
He's the goddamn greatest player ever.
So they just, it's to me, it's like at this point, we discussed this. It's Anthony Davis. He's the one who's hurting that team. He's the one who they really need on the floor and can't be injured. But I don't know. I don't think he's not achieving what I would call his full potential, which
absolutely. And if you look at it, I mean, the best he played was the championship run. The best he played for the Lakers. And that was the whole point, right? Get a guy who takes over. He takes the brunt of the work from LeBron. LeBron can just facilitate a big man, facilitate the offense, whatever. Now LeBron's having to do all the scoring. That's why it's a 1-5 while he's scoring a bunch of points record.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're just discussing a ton of GOATs. Madden, LeBron. That's another segue. I'll just keep doing these segues.
Segue.
The
more
alcohol
goat talk.
The alcohol GOAT, Miller Lite.
Bro, you have no idea. The dirt balls came out strong last night, Andy. Buckets of Miller Lite were flowing here in Arizona. House of the Rising Light, as we call it. I mean, just buckets upon buckets. I was like, are there dirt balls in the crowd? I didn't know. I saw a couple guys on the way in. But I was like, how many are really here? And then the bartender, I was sitting at the bar at the comedy club. The bartender went under into the cooler of the bar and started pulling out sixers of Miller Lite. And I was like, what is happening? She's like, I'm putting together buckets of Miller Lite. Somebody just ordered buckets. I was like, oh, there are some dirt balls in the house.
Oh, yeah. Nothing better than a nice, refreshing, cold Miller Lite middle of a comedy club, watching Joey No Chill Prano.
I had one on stage.
Yeah.
I had one on stage, and I had I had a few after.
Well, here's what I love about Miller Lite, and I don't think we talk about this enough. It's just made from simple ingredients, Joe. It's a really simple formula, and it's for people who just love the taste of beer, right? It's got that clean finish, always refreshing, so easy to drink, right? Like, tell me about the first time that you drank a Miller Lite. Did you not just say to yourself, it's so easy to go down?
I mean, honestly, I can almost guarantee that John Madden was calling a football game and somebody handed me a cold Miller Lite, and I said, oh, this is some GOAT stuff right here.
Yeah.
Does it get better than this?
No.
It hit my palate, and my brain said, boom.
Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. It wouldn't be New Year's Eve without the college football playoff.
That's right.
Although they went away from that for a few years, which I liked. I don't like it on New Year's Eve, Joe. I don't.
Why?
You know why? Because this second game starts at 7:30, which means it'll start at 8. And college games are actually longer than NFL games. It's going to bleed into midnight. That's why. This Michigan-Georgia game will bleed into midnight. That's why I don't like it.
Well, you should do what I do and ignore everything that happens in college football.
Well, I mostly did, but I'm in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bearcats are playing.
Potential. You have potential to cut your Jersey Mike's deficit in half with this spread.
I'm not feeling good right now. I don't know why. I was feeling good up until right before the show. The spread has stayed the same, basically. It was 13.5 when we made it. It's 14 right now. So can Cincinnati cover this spread? You say no. I say yeah.
No. I say no. They're going to do their best. The spread's down there. They're going to try to put some cheese on it. They're going to try to put some onions on it. They're going to try to put some beans on it. They're going to do all the things, but can they cover it completely? Or will there be just some of that spread pasta showing?
Well, I think they have to, a lot of games can change and momentum is real, as you and I are just going to keep saying. I know people don't think momentum is real who like analytics, but I think momentum is going to be so key in this game for the start, right? Like sometimes I think the better teams can usually come back. I think it's more important for Cincinnati to
get out early and stay.
Yeah.
And stay in that game, like stay up. Get out early and hold
or keep it close in the first quarter.
Yeah, and honestly, just like you're gonna have to be able to match scores because at some point I feel like Bama. That's the thing is like I know I'm like a half a Notre Dame fan, and through the years everybody's like, look, they don't fucking belong. It's like let's go through the history of the college playoff. At this point, there's a lot of fucking blowouts. It's like
ton of blowouts.
What ends up happening is you get these great teams, the Alabamas of the world, and they just keep getting better as the season goes along, and you get you have essentially a month off, so you're at full strength, and I think it's going to be Alabama's a tough game, right? In January,
and they got the best quarterback in college football. And it's not even like a pro type.
Yeah. I didn't watch a lot of Alabama football this year, but I watched some of that SEC championship game, and I was blown away by how well he looked, he played, and how good he looked, and
he's the Heisman winner. Obviously,
his style of play.
Bryce Young's the real deal. So I think that's what it's going to boil down to. Can Cincinnati? And Cincinnati has a good defense, but can they match points wise? And the second game also has a big spread. Georgia is 7.5 point favorites. So it seems like Vegas is saying We know what happened in the SEC championship. But we think Georgia will regroup. I don't know. I didn't watch much either. I watched Michigan a few times this year. Didn't watch too much of Georgia.
I can't for sure tell you that I saw a single live play of Michigan football this year. I feel like I've done good work with my
it's
turning on college football.
Look, it's you only have so much time, right?
I always say I just can't give away Saturdays and Sundays.
It's kind of like how I treat the news. I don't really watch it anymore. Not that I did before, but like I don't watch it because I don't want to invest my time in it.
Yeah.
And like you said, I only have so much time in the day. Now, again, good background noise, right? It's New Year's Eve. You obviously will be performing tonight. How was last night? Was it good?
It was great. Yeah. Shout out to all the dirt balls that came out. I think I'll probably see a few more of you guys this weekend. Our whole spring training crew was there.
Oh yeah. Was Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford there?
Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford was not there. He had a ticket. He messaged me and he said, the booster kicked my butt. I'm hoping I'll make it later in the weekend. But the rest of the crew was there. And it was funny. The guys were like, you know me. And I was like, of course I know you. You're the only Nationals fan in the world. Like I was saying, I have ways of remembering most dirt balls I meet. I'm like, where's Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford? Where's the world's only Nationals fan? Where's my boy Tyler? You know, they were all there. A couple of them brought their lovely girlfriends, which was nice.
Those guys get turned. Were they still getting turned?
Yeah. Buckets of Miller Lite, dog. We did buckets. It was great. We had a lot of fun.
I mean, last time we met them, they were getting you and Lazarus turned. And then Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford again shook my hand and slid a edible in the handshake.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a very questionable move to somebody you've never met. Like, you're slipping me a controlled substance. I have no clue what's in it. Did I eat it? Yes.
Yeah. Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford, as crazy as his eyes are, he's a trustworthy dude. Yeah. You're like, I don't think Sam Bradford looks trustworthy, and I don't think people with crazy eyes seem trustworthy. But put them together, remarkably trustworthy.
That was an infamous night, if you recall. That's the night that Laz flooded our Airbnb in Scottsdale.
Allegedly.
Also, that fight broke out outside. Remember, we stayed at a late night pizza joint?
Yep.
And that weird fight broke out?
Yeah.
Good times.
And we also may have figured out that going back to deep West Virginia lineage, our boy Tyler McCoy and Randy Ruther may be related. They may be cousins.
Blinking guy beam right now.
I know.
What?
Tell me about it.
So you're telling me Randy Ruther and a dirtball could be related?
Yeah.
Well, it's West Virginia. They might be father, son, brother, you know.
Because Tyler was like, my last name's McCoy. And Randy was like, I am also from the McCoys. And
shut up.
And Tyler was like, I go all the way back to the McCoys of Hatfields and McCoys in West Virginia. And Randy was like, so do I. And then they were standing next to each other and we were like, you guys do have very similar facial structures.
Was Randy Ruther like, can Randy Ruther get a McCoy?
Yeah.
And then Tyler was like,
can
McCoy.
West Virginia get a Houday? He is turned up for some Cincinnati Bengals versus Kansas City Chiefs football this weekend. I mean, he is turned up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the picks then. Let's do it.
Do it. I got serious this week. I have my picks put them on a paper towel with a Sharpie.
Oh,
I have a strategy this week.
You are serious.
I have a strategy this week. I'm sticking to my strategy. My strategy is essentially, I was like, I'm picking every single game and I'm not going to move on it except for 2 games I have that I'm just going to fade Ruther.
Okay.
If I can. I'm not going to fade you if you're going first on the pick, or if I'm going first on the pick, I'm not going to reverse it. I'm not going to go into Andy Ruther ball control mode.
I did it once. I did it on one game last week.
I will
did it
do
once
it
all year.
I will do it as best I can. And then there's also one other game that I'm kind of like, I'm not so sure how I feel about it. But otherwise, besides those 3 games, I have a strategy, and I'm like, this is my strategy, and I'm sticking to it.
Real quick, before we get into it, Mata posted. Look at Mata doing the deep dives for us. We are both. This is heading into this week. This is interesting. We're both. That was after last week. We're 7 out of 15 when picking the Bengals games. So I've only picked the Bengals 3 times. You accused me last week, which was disrespectful, of always picking the Bengals. I've only picked them 3 times out of 15 weeks. But guess what, baby? We want to start there. We're going to jump ahead.
Sure, let's go.
I'm picking them again this week.
You're taking the Bengals.
I'm picking the Bengals.
This is good for me. I'm taking Kansas City. This actually works out perfectly for me. I would have loved to fade you on this one. And if you go Bengals and then I go Bengals, then the Bengals let us both down and I make up no ground. This way, I don't have to pick the Bengals, but that means also the Bengals could play well because I'm not picking them. I kind of wanted to pick the Bengals because I'm going to be watching the game with Randy Ruther and wanted to, cheer along with him. Unfortunately, Randy. Now, can you get a hooday? No, you cannot. You can get a, I'm going to stand next to you and root for the Chiefs. I need it. I was talking last night to the Dirtballs about my crippling fear of IKEA. Truly one of the few places on earth, one of the few things on earth that gives me anxiety. I just do not, I was getting really fucking freaked out last night when they started talking about, they were like, so how many points are you down? And what do you have to do? And I was like, I'm getting kind of nauseous thinking about being in an IKEA. So we need to come back. I think this is going to be a good game. What's the spread, by the way? We didn't even talk about it.
That's why I'm shocked. So it's currently 4.5.
Yeah.
It
I think it's going to be a good game.
It opened to 4.5, jumped to 5.5 midweek, is back down now to 4.5. I think it's going to be a good game too. 4.5 is a lot of. The Bengals are at home.
I agree. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game, but I have a strategy, and I'm sticking to it.
I think the Chiefs win. I definitely think the Bengals cover. Wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals won. I just think the Bengals can put up points. The Chiefs can put up points. This is the litmus test for the Bengals.
Absolutely. This is the week 17 game in the Giants-Patriots undefeated season. It's like, you don't have to win this game, but you need to show that you can play with this caliber of team. Because if you can play with this caliber of a team, then you can play with anybody. And that's what the Giants showed in that final game. And then they go into the playoffs, they roll through, and then they get another shot at them. And this is essentially what the Bengals got to show. You're at home. You need to play with this team. This needs to be a field goal game at the end. And then you can potentially get another shot at them in the playoffs. Yeah.
So look, I think they'll play them close.
It's amazing, though, your mindset here. You believe that the Bengals are capable of playing the Kansas City Chiefs to like a field goal game, but you also believe that the Bengals are incapable of winning a playoff game against anyone.
Correct. Playoffs
seems like opposing views.
It's really not. Playoffs are a different animal. We all know this. A completely different animal.
But I would say this is a playoff level game. This is probably the biggest game in Cincinnati Bengals history since the playoff game against the Steelers.
Correct. I just, dude, come playoffs, I'm actually licking my chops at the thought of Zach Taylor going against Belichick or even a Frank Reich or Sean McDermott. Like the thought of this incompetent buffoon who has zero.
I don't know. We're just going to continue to disagree on this.
What is it? He's a terror. They are winning in spite of Zach Taylor because they have such a great young quarterback and a great, young, talented offense. And to be honest,
I mean,
defense as well.
there's great young quarterbacks that come in the league all the time, and some of them don't pan out. Joe Burrow's panning out quick. Joe Burrow threw the third most yards in NFL history last week against a division rival with a historically solid defense. And
their coach,
he probably likes Zach Taylor a lot.
No, he probably doesn't, because when they need to just unleash Burrow, which they did last week, look how he performs. They didn't unleash him in overtime against the Niners when they lose. They didn't unleash him enough against the Chargers, those 2 games I go to. I'm just saying he has no right being in the NFL. That's why I come playoffs, and then we'll move on, because people are probably sick of me saying this. I think he's a terrible coach. He has no right being a professional football coach. It's the equivalent of me starting my own interior design business. I'd have no right doing that.
That being said, you're taking the Bengals and I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay. Here we are. Next up, we have the Raiders traveling to Indy. The Colts are 7-point favorites. Now, Carson Wentz is on the COVID list. We will know tomorrow, Saturday, if he's off the COVID list.
So this is a 7-point spread, which is assuming that Carson Wentz plays.
Yes.
Now this could obviously drop if he's out, and
Sam Ellinger would be
right
the quarterback.
But sticking with what we've done historically throughout this COVID season and last COVID season, we're making our picks. This is the line. Whatever happens, happens. We just have to live with it. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So am I first?
You are now.
I'm taking the Raiders. I'm going to let you make your pick, and then I will make my justification, because I'm not trying to swing you.
Well, you're not going to swing me, because I do got to play a little defensive football here now on my own.
Oh, okay.
So the reason I'm doing that, if Sam, this is different. I know they run the ball so much with Jonathan Taylor. The largest percentage of any team's offense is Jonathan Taylor in the league, this one player. But Sam Ellinger's never played a game, and there is a good chance that he's going to start. I can't take 7 with that risk. The COVID wild card is too much for me. I have to take the Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders +7. Even if Wentz plays, I'm going John Madden, revenge game, revenge against God, revenge against God for taking John Madden from us. And who better to attack if you're trying to get revenge on God than Carson Wentz? God seems to be attacking all of the unvaccinated Jesus freaks right now. But
this is a Jesus freak battle, a quarterback. If it's Wentz, you got Wentz, Jesus freak, Derek Carr, Jesus freak.
Yep. I'm going John Madden revenge game against one of Jesus's flock in Carson Wentz or Sam Ellinger or whoever. A lot of people, I agree with the sentiment that a lot of people are saying, you don't want to play this Colts team in the playoffs. I agree with that. That would be a scary team to play. I think they have the ability to beat anybody on any given Sunday. But I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't like this Colts team making a run.
Well, if they make a run, Wentz will have to make some plays.
Yeah.
Come playoff time.
I just don't see Wentz doing it weeks and weeks and weeks in a row against playoff quality defenses.
Yeah. They got a lot of people on the COVID list too, by the way. The Colts. And actually, so do the Raiders. They've been hit. Both teams.
I'm going to start marking my thing, because every week I have to wait for Mata to update me. I've got to make my markings on this as we go.
All right. Next up, Giants travel to Chicago, where the Bears are 5.5-point favorites. I'm up first. I will ask you, who's playing quarterback?
If you can believe it, Joe Judge, in some sort of evaluation of 2 of the worst quarterbacks of all time, I believe we'll be giving both quarterbacks playing time. Now, I'm not shitting on Jake Fromm, because he was a Buffalo practice squad player. He came over to the Giants, barely time to learn anything. They had to go to the reduced playlist, blah, blah, blah. He still looked horrible. But listen, playing quarterback in the NFL is hard, especially on a couple weeks fucking notice. The idea, I have been of the opinion that you don't fire Joe Judge simply because you can't fucking hire a new coach every 2 years. You just can't. At some point, it's like, fuck it, be bad again, but like stand for something. The fact that he put Mike Glennon in the game last week, and the fact that he is going actively planning on playing Mike Glennon this week, I believe now that Joe Judge should be fired for that incompetency alone.
So last week, Nick Foles started for the Bears, and he actually played all right. But this week, it looks like Fields and Dalton might be back. We don't know who's starting. That doesn't help me. This is a terrible line, I'll be honest. I just hate this game. 5.5 seems really big.
Although the Giants can't score any points whatsoever.
Yes. God, I hate to do this. My gut is telling me Giants, though. I don't know why. My gut is telling me Giants. Do I trust my gut here, or do I completely ignore it and go with the Bears? Yep, I'm ignoring it. I'm going to go with the Bears.
Okay, good. I'm going with the Giants. I hate it. My gut's telling me to go with the Bears. But like I said, I have a strategy this week, and I'm sticking to my strategy. I'm not going to tell you what my strategy is, as there's one more week to go after this, and I'm going to, hopefully, if my strategy works this week, run it back. But I'm going to go with the New York Giants, even though my gut tells me they can't score fucking points. The Bears actually looked okay last week. Maybe the Bears are figuring something out. So it seems like we're both going against our guts, and it works out in my favor for a guy who needs to pick up some points. I am going to take the Giants. And just FYI, my strategy for those of you listening out there doesn't have anything to do with trying to catch Andy Ruther. This is a gambling strategy for this week, and I feel really good about it, guys. So if you're thinking of a week to back Prano, this might be it.
2 out of 3 different picks already. All right. Bucks travel to New York. Jets are 13-point underdogs at home. Big spread here.
Big spread. I think the Bucks win this game. And I think the Bucks win this game big. And I think the Bucks don't cover the spread. Backdoor, Jets cover. I'm going with the Jets. I think the Bucks play really well, look great, put it on cruise control. They don't have anything to prove. They're Super Bowl champs. They don't have anything to prove in blowing teams out, although Tom Brady's a psycho, so he probably is desperately wanting to blow out the Jets. But I'm going to take the Jets to cover.
Well, we're finally on the same wavelength here. I looked at this. It's just such a big spread, man. And Tampa's in too many games. And this is not the fact that it's a road game. Brady has struggled in the past with the Jets. I know he was on a different team, different situation. With that being said, I'm going to also take the Jets to cover. All right. Next up, your other massive. We have a few massive spreads this week. This is another massive one. Oh, of course. Of course, it's the Falcons. The Falcons at the Bills. The Bills are 14.5-point favorites. I hate to do it, but I'm doing it. Too big for me because it's 2 touchdowns. I think the Bills will win by 2 touchdowns, but not by 14.5. I'm taking the Falcons to cover.
I am also taking the Falcons to cover this game. I hate it because I don't want to do it, but this sticks with my strategy. And I actually really like this pick. I know I shouldn't even say this because like the Falcons have fucked me so many times in my life. But
is this your upset? You've been upset here?
No, absolutely not. But I really like the Falcons with this line.
All right.
I just think Buffalo, it seems like Buffalo isn't really consistent in like putting teams down that they should. So it almost seems like Buffalo plays down to their competition a little bit.
Yeah, they're not.
and then they get up for the good teams.
Okay, the Eagles travel to Washington.
Shit.
Why?
Nothing. This is just okay. Go ahead.
Eagles are 4.5-point favorites.
Motherfucker. All right. This was an outlier. This was my third and potential. This wasn't my auto fade Ruther, but this had Ruther fade potential. If you were picking first, since I'm picking first, I'm going to go back to my strategy, and I'm going to say that. Well, I'll say this: Washington's been real fucking bad lately,
real bad, and they keep fucking me.
Yeah, and at the same time, I don't think Philly is good. I just refuse to believe it. I cannot believe that there's Nick Sirianni, Coach of the Year talk. I can't believe there's Jalen Hurts, quarterback of the future talk, but I'm here for it. I love it. Give him Coach of the Year. Give Jalen Hurts the contract. I'm going to take Washington to cover.
Well, as much as they fucked me, I was saying all along, I think they do cover as well.
Jesus fuck.
And by the way, all these picks so far I've gone with is what I was going to pick. I'm not trying to do anything different or stay the same with you. I'm going with my gut on this one. And I think Washington covers. Same pick for the next pick we'll do. You'll go first. All week long, I already knew who I was going to pick in this one. I'm not going to change my mind regardless. That's Jags 16.5-point underdogs at the Patriots.
I'm going to take Jacksonville.
Me too.
16.5 is too big.
What are we doing here with this spread?
16.5.
Come on.
The Patriots, have the Patriots scored 25 points in a couple games this year? Like,
they've lost back-to-back games too. All right, so we're on the same page there. Okay, the Dolphins, winners of 7 in a row. A lot of bad teams, though. Travel to Tennessee, where the Titans are 3.5-point favorites. Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. Dolphins cover.
Great. This is good for me. This is the auto fade Ruther. I'm glad I got the opportunity to do it. This and one other game, which I won't tell you, are games where I'm just like, listen, I have to make up points. I'm doing the reverse of whatever Andy does, no matter what, if I have that opportunity. But at the same time, if I was forced to pick this game on my own, I would have taken the Titans. I don't love 3.5. I love 2.5. I love 3. I don't love 3.5. But that being said, if you put a gun to my head, I would have picked the Titans in this game. And thankfully, you took the Dolphins. So let's fucking go.
All right. Yeah, that extra half point I like. Rams travel to Baltimore. This spread has moved again. Keeps moving in Rams' favor. Rams are 5.5-point favorites now. Quick update. Lamar Jackson practiced and then it stopped mid-practice yesterday.
Okay.
He's most likely out again.
So
So this would be the third game in a row that he's out.
yeah.
It looks like Huntley is back off the COVID list and he will play. Let me see if there's any other major guys on the COVID list. Looks like the Rams are getting pretty healthy as far as COVID list. The Ravens still without a lot of guys. I don't know if they're coming back from the COVID list. It's 5.5 now.
Honestly, it doesn't matter which way this line moves for me. I'm taking the Rams, Rams to win this game, to cover. Rams, I feel like getting their groove. I like this, and Baltimore's just struggled, and I think that these teams are trending in opposite directions.
Yeah, I agree. Even though the line has moved, I like the Rams. I like the way they're playing. Baltimore's a mess. Now Baltimore is still like they're still there.
Yeah,
to possibly win that division. If the Bengals lose and they win, they'd have the same record. Now they lost both games, so the Bengals would still get it. But the Bengals have a final game in Cleveland. So Baltimore's right there, but I think it's fallen off. And I think, I feel like we're not hearing too much. Like it's caught up. I'm going to keep saying it. And people were like, oh, you're a hater. You're Lamar Jackson. I'm not a Lamar Jackson hater. This is now the third game in a row he hasn't played because of an injury as a very,
I mean, I just don't even think it would be stupid for somebody to accuse you of being a hater. I mean, I've been saying this since day one of him coming to the league, that this is not, and I said it about Cam, and I said it about other guys. It's like, this is just straight up like the NFL's too fast. The guys hit too hard. You're going to get hurt. Now, I want to propose something, because basically Odell scores every week.
He does not score every week.
He basically scores every week. Now, you last week were critical, saying, okay, but he just scores. Like, he's not even catching a ton of passes. He's not getting any yards.
I'm not betting anything against this. What after what, I'll stop you right there. After what Burrow did to this high school secondary last week, I'm not betting anything.
I was going to say Odell, straight up $25 Jersey Mike's gift card, Odell over 65 yards.
Fuck no.
Over 70 yards.
No. The Bengals had 3 guys catch 100 yards last week. 3.
75 is my absolute final offer. Actually, I'm going 74 is my absolute final offer. Odell over 74 yards?
No, I don't trust it.
You love Odell. You love Odell.
I don't love Odell. I don't love a practice squad secondary. Did you watching those highlights last week? The Bengals guys were catching the ball and literally just running.
Yeah.
No way.
Okay.
I mean, Stafford might throw for 400 yards. And if he does that, Odell's getting 100 yards at least, and at least a touch. No way I'm touching that. See, there are times where I won't let my pride get in the way. Like, that's no, as I say with my nephews, no way, Jose. Not gonna happen. Okay. Broncos, Chargers. Whoa. Well, this is locked? What does that mean? It's locked on FanDuel.
I believe there is reports of Denver COVID coming. I think they're probably waiting to see who is or isn't COVID.
Well, let's go to somewhere else then. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the ESPN line that I looked at it on, I mean, ESPN lines are not great, but they're in the ballpark. Had that at a 6.5 point Chargers favorites.
But there's, yeah.
Where did it open at?
I don't know. 6.5.
I think we should set our own line for this game. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, you cocksucker. Just give me the fucking lines. Here we go. This is the one we want. I mean, 5.5 to 6.5. I say we call it a 6-point game.
Okay, that's fine. We're going to call it 6. Chargers, 6-point favorites at home. Is it me or you? It's me.
I just took the Rams.
I just don't trust this Chargers team, man. And 6 is too much. I just can't do that. I'm taking Broncos.
Let's fucking go. I am a fucking Andy Ruther Chargers season ticket holding Rams stand this weekend. Justin Herbert, long crossing patterns, COVID, fuck the Broncos. I didn't know which way to go on this, but I picked the Chargers.
Watch, this spread's gonna go like 10.
With my strategy, I picked the Chargers. You picked the Broncos. Now I'm fucking stoked about it. We need listen. I agree with you, especially at home. This Chargers team isn't consistent enough, but I also feel like they.
Okay. It just unlocked. You want to do this one? Sorry, it just unlocked in real time. 7.5 now. That's a big spread, dude. Or that's a point and a half is a big change.
Is that what we're doing? Is that we're going 7.5?
I don't know. I'm asking you. It literally just did this in real time on FanDuel. I mean,
okay. So we did. Listen, we had.
I don't think it's. To be honest, I don't think it's fair to say, "Oh, we're locked in at 6" when it changes spread.
So we had a 5.5 point line. We had a 6.5 point line. Now we have a 7.5 point line. We said 5. It was 5.5. It's 6.5. Then we settled on 6. Now we have 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. Do we settle on 6.5?
Even though it's at 7.5 in front of our eyes, dude, you're trying to keep me to 6. I'm not staying with 6.
I'm saying 6.5.
It's not, the spread is 7.5. You're not going to bully. The spread is 7.5. Do you still take the Chargers?
That's what I'm fucking weighing right now. I will still take them at 7.
Joe, the spread is 7.5. And it's only going to go higher.
Well, we don't know that. Refresh it right now.
Okay. It's been refreshed. It's 7.5.
Fine. I'll take the Chargers.
Okay. I'm taking the Broncos still.
Fuck. I would have loved a point in there, but it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Texans come to San Fran. Jimmy G is battling some injuries. He's got a hurt thumb, which he played through that Tennessee game when he obviously played pretty poorly after the injury. Niners are 12.5 point favorites. It's a big spread, man.
It's a big spread
with an injured QB.
Yeah. I don't love it. But I'm going to take San Francisco. I'm going to take San Francisco for a variety of reasons. One, I think a zigzag game from the Texans, who had their Super Bowl last week.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's so high that it's what makes me think, what am I missing?
I agree about the zigzag. That was their. I totally agree with everything. That was their Super Bowl. They were at home. They're feeling good.
I heard somebody say that this Texans team is actually really good, and they just need a quarterback. And I was like, you need to kill yourself.
You know, I don't know enough about that, the truth, to speak on that. I think they're not as bad as we think. I mean, they're not as bad as some of these teams, but I think they get smoked this week. The next spread to me is
don't hate funny. Us both having that same pick. So I would have hurt to lose because San Francisco with a hurt quarterback can't cover 12.5. But
yeah,
I gotta take him where I can get him here.
I have a feeling we're in the same pick in the next one. I'm up first. Cardinals are now 6-point dogs traveling to the Cowboys. Cardinals have been playing poorly, but this is just too big of a spread for me. I don't like it at all. And everyone's high on the Cowboys now. I think the Cardinals definitely cover this spread.
I'm with you on Arizona. I agree. The Cardinals haven't been playing well, and the Cowboys have been playing well. Everything about this says Cowboys cover, but also, it's inside. It's, a potentially high scoring game, or I should say kind of a loose defensive game. High octane offenses, at least from a playmaker standpoint. Yeah, even if the Cowboys win, I could see a backdoor cover. So I'm on Arizona as well.
No way. Did she just pass away? No.
Who?
No way. Betty White?
No.
At 99, right before the new year?
Betty White was like, I ain't trying to fucks with 2022.
She literally tweeted out 3 days ago, my 100th birthday, I can't believe is coming up. People Magazine is celebrating me, the new issue. No.
People Magazine curse.
Dude, they have her on the cover. Betty White turns 100. Oh, my God.
When does she turn 100? Well, she doesn't, but.
January 17th.
Wow.
Is this true?
I don't fucking know. I'm sitting here picking football games. You're coming at me with fucking Betty White.
TMZ is reporting it. I mean, I assume that's pretty accurate.
I mean, the Golden Girls was like 35 years ago, dude. She was already old.
I know, but
I know. I'm just saying it's amazing.
TMZ claims she passed away at her home Friday morning. She got her start in the 40s in radio.
Betty White dead at 99, 16 minutes ago. Page 6, Daily Mail. No real news sources so far confirming. Just the big three of disaster news. TMZ, Page 6, and Daily Mail. So she could be healthier than ever. But
I can't believe that was her last tweet. And I can't believe literally people have her on the cover. Why would you do that? Why would you put her on the cover? Betty White turns 100.
Betty White 100th birthday celebration planned in McAllister. Fuck is that? McAllister, Oklahoma.
Man.
Well, 2021, man.
Unbelievable. Well, life is short, so make sure you get all your picks right.
Life is short. Unless you're Betty White, then you get to almost 100.
Yeah.
I literally just tweeted before the show. It's been a long December. There's absolutely no fucking reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last. I mean, 2022, I don't want it.
I can't, yeah. I can't believe.
Listen, not to be morbid, but if you had to set your own chances, you need between 0% and 100%. What would you say your chances of making it to 2022 are? I'm not putting myself any higher than like 70%.
Dude,
There's a 30% chance something goes wrong in the next 12 hours.
I'm not even answering that shit. Dude, I'm not even answering that. That'll fuck with my head.
For 12 hours.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Especially, I've been doing a lot of thinking after watching Don't Look Up. I don't know. Like, it's just, we live in crazy times.
Yeah, Don't Look Up. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
I did too. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
if I'm lying in bed thinking and processing the movie after I watch it,
it's good. Yeah, that's actually a good judge for a movie, like thinking about it after the fact. And I always like, people go, how do you like that movie? And I go, well, it's usually pretty good if I don't have an answer for you right away.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how good was it? The funny thing about that movie that I was thinking about, and I was just talking about this last night, is like, sometimes I think, because there are a lot of fucked up people in the world, but sometimes I think, man, like movies, especially when like their point of it is to like make you feel a certain way about a certain thing, even if that goes against like your thing. Like I always wonder, do racists watch like 42 and they're like, yeah, keep that N-word off the field? Like, are there people who are watching like, fucking Remember the Titans and are like, separate football teams is the fucking way it should be? Or does like people watch that and just go like, yeah, man, fucking Jackie Robinson, great dude, and then just go back to being racist in real life? And
probably
then
that, or they don't watch it.
Right. So then my question was like, I wonder how many people watch Don't Look Up and like that voted, say, for Trump, and then like think the president character is an idiot and Jonah Hill's character is an idiot, but then are like, this isn't even about me.
Well,
or are those people just not even watching it because they're like, oh, it's just a liberal fucking fuckball movie. All right, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, I didn't even take it that way. Obviously, you could say that the Meryl Streep character is very
female Donald Trump,
very Trumpian for sure. But I also think, to me, the bigger picture is that they are highlighting Adam McKay is highlighting the political divide in our country and also the divide against science and facts, which goes beyond COVID and the
climate change,
climate change, like those are all, but like it's a broad spectrum. Like to me, it's so poignant. Like the title, obviously you don't realize, and I know we're doing spoilers right now, but you don't see that until they're literally telling people not to look up, which is fucking crazy. But it's also true of like the times we live in. But like you can even see that though with the vaccine. Like the amount of people on the left that were so against it simply because Trump said it was here, and then they did a 180. There's literally compilations of that. So like to me, I think that's the bigger picture I see from it, of people not wanting to look at science and just science in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously her character is very Trumpian, and with her son being the chief of staff, a la like a Jared Kushner type of person. But I thought it was really good. But like for me, that's the bigger picture of the movie. But then also
but then there's a lot of little things in the movie, the media, the social media,
yes,
blah, 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 like the people's obsession with celebrities, all the things. But, you know, the thing that I was just thinking that I watch it is like most people, you know, the media is one thing, or pop stars are one thing. It's like, okay, but you're not relating to that. But like there is also an attack on sort of the right wing that's like, blah, 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 and then like, she fucking lied to us. And I just wonder how many people watch that and are like, do they watch it, or do they just not even fucking watch it? I think probably the latter.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wouldn't watch it, but I also think for me, beyond all that stuff, like I was sitting there thinking in bed, like, what would I do if I knew the world was coming to an end? Like obviously I'm giving away the whole movie, but like, I don't want to give away at the end, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what would I do?
I feel like I'd be hit with a sense of overwhelming relief.
Would I be at peace?
I feel like finally.
Would I be the orgy on top of the building?
Yeah.
Did I rewind that scene a few times? Yes. Did I wish I could zoom in, see exactly what was going on? Maybe. I just gave away the whole movie, by the way. The whole movie.
I mean, it's fine.
I thought it was a good movie.
Me too. We got to finish these picks. I got Eddie F walking in the door any minute now.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Panthers at Saints. Saints are 6.5 point favorites.
Who's first on this?
I picked the Cardinals, and you joined me.
What's the spread?
6.5.
The Saints are favored by 6.5.
Why is it so big? I mean, we all saw what Ian Book played quarterback last week. I don't know who's playing this week.
Yeah.
I think so. Hill and Simeon were both on the COVID list December 23rd. I assume they'll be back. Okay. Dude, yeah, like I already know my pick. Saints have a great defense, by the way.
I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck. What was it? What was that? Saints have a great defense, by the way. I want to take the Saints. I only took the Saints. I only took the Panthers because I thought you were taking the Saints.
Then take the Saints.
I'll take the Saints.
Okay, that's fine. I'm taking the Panthers.
Okay, great. Let's go. Fuck yeah. I hate it. This was the Ruther auto fade. I tried to read you. What the fuck? What are you playing little fucking games? Your Saints have a great
You
defense,
play games with me all the time. I can play games back.
Are we okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm taking the Panthers. You take the Saints.
Okay, let's go.
All right, Lions are 7.5 point underdogs in Seattle. Jesus, this is another. I hate this game. Seattle sucks, man.
Let Russ. I don't know what at this point.
I'm gonna go with Seattle as much as I don't want to.
Okay, I'm going with Seattle as well. I'm not going to change it, even though I should have picked first there. I'm not going to change it.
Oh wow, this spread! Holy cow! It's jumped 6.5 points. The Packers are 13.5-point favorites now against the Vikings. It was 7 before Kirk Cousins was put on the COVID list. So now it's 13.5. It's jumped 6.5. Sean Mannion will be starting. Fun fact for you before you make your pick. The Packers were 11-0 against the spread this year, Joe, until the last 2 weeks. So still they're overall 11-2 against the spread.
Right. Okay.
Actually, that doesn't make sense because they played more games than that. But maybe that was, you know what that probably was? It's probably games Aaron Rodgers just started. Who fucking knows? I could be wrong. Maybe I just made something up. I don't know.
All right. For the sake of legitimacy and for the sake of us doing this right, I know you just gave me an out. You gave me an out on Saints Panthers. Okay. I picked that first. I was supposed to pick that first. You jumped the gun. You picked Seattle, that was right. You were supposed to pick that first, right? Okay. So it's back to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking the Packers to cover.
Yeah, me too. When Sean Mannion's the quarterback.
Man.
All right.
What's with the unvaccinated Jesus freaks getting COVID?
Well, last up, we have the Browns, which could be coming to Pittsburgh, which could be Ben Roethlisberger's last game at home. Steelers are 3.5-point dogs. Interesting game here. So quick thing to note. If the Bengals lose to the Chiefs, now these are 3 Fs. If the Bengals lose to the Chiefs and the Ravens lose to the Rams and the Browns win, that sets up the final game of the year, which is crazy, will decide the division in the AFC North in Cleveland against the Browns or Browns-Bengals.
And if the Bengals lose to the Chiefs,
yes.
Is anybody besides the Browns alive?
The Ravens are still alive.
Pittsburgh's not alive.
I think they technically are. It's a crazy division.
Well, it's your pick first. Is this the last game?
Yes. It's 3.5.
Is this Sunday night football or Monday night football?
It's Monday night football.
It's Monday night. There is a Monday night game. Okay.
Sunday night is Vikings-Packers.
Okay.
That half point. Don't like it. Pittsburgh will keep it close. I'm going to go Steelers.
I'm also going with the Steelers.
But how great would that be, though, for dirty sports, for the state of Ohio, if the Ravens lose, the Bengals lose, and the Browns win? Week 18 for the division on the line, Browns, Bengals, and Cleveland. Tell me that wouldn't make for great football.
That would make for a great Andy Ruther storyline.
It would.
So if my calculations are correct, we just have New York, KC, Chargers, New Orleans, Tennessee as different picks. So 5, I like 5. Hoping to go 4-1 there. Hoping to go 4-1. Make up 3 games.
We only have 5 different? You sure?
That's what I have. I have New York Giants, Kansas City Chiefs, Chargers, Saints, Titans.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably right.
I hate the Giants pick. But let's go. We're trying to go 4-1 and pick up 3 games and close it to a 1-point deficit for week 18.
All right. Well, those are the picks. And again, it is New Year's Eve. You got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. We're going to keep this a little short. Hotline will be available. We will play calls next week. 310-359-8365.
I'm just going to say one more thing. I really like my process this week. I will make you guys all aware of the process after this happens. This is a good week to back some Prano bets. Not necessarily the bets that are anti-Ruther. Some of the picks that we have the same are good as well. I'm going to be betting heavy this week. This week has looked favorable with how my process works. So if you want to know some locks, you can get in the DMs. Thank you, the Dirt Balls, for coming out to shows. Jacob Faith was out at the show last night. First time ever meeting the Jacob Faith.
Wow.
Still
dirty sports legend.
Still remnants of a tattoo on his ass. I didn't see it, but he says it's going to take a couple more tattoo removals for it to be gone. Was wearing a Mets hat. First time ever meeting. Did I say that already? I think I did.
Yes.
Famous Earl's Wine Bar, Western Conference hockey correspondent. Shout out to all the Dirt Balls who came out to the show. Hopefully see some more of you guys this week and in Phoenix at House of Comedy, where for the rest of the weekend, I'll be opening for Eddie F. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow, 1 show Sunday. I have other shows coming up in California. I think I talked about San Francisco Sketch Fest, which I will now not be participating in because it has been canceled, or I should say postponed due to COVID. So if you're planning on coming to that, that is now off my schedule, as is the show I was supposed to do in Santa Cruz. No longer making a trip to the Bay Area in a few weeks. I will be opening for Eddie Ift for his album taping, January 22nd, the Irvine Improv. And I have some shows in and around Los Angeles and San Diego and elsewhere. So check out my website, joeprano.com/shows. If you want my calendar, follow me on all social media at Joe Prano, except for Twitter at Fix Your Life.
Okie dokie. That is our show. 2021, almost over. Let's make it to 2022. Much thank you to everyone who has listened to the show through all these years. Be smart, be safe on this New Year's Eve. That's the lesson that old man over here is going to give you.
John, may John Madden and Betty White get together and slow dance in heaven.
That's right.
Boom.
You guys have a great weekend and a great start to your